yearbook because it has so far helped me really celebrate the spring, really express myself and develop a creative practice, and use all my fun tools and supplies and play every single day. I can't say enough. I just love it. It's now a part of my everyday life that I look forward to. And I also love reading my yearbook. I love going back and looking at the treasures that are in it. I can't believe how much happens in a very short time. I mean, one day contains so many treasures, and it's wonderful to have a record of those treasures. You know, just all the little tiny things that you think you'll always remember, and there they are. So I'm thrilled. I absolutely adore it. I'll just hold up this is my yearbook. I don't know if you could see. Yeah, so that's the cover. And I'll show you the back cover, which actually I put another focus page on the back cover. And for people who don't know what a focus page is, it's a place where you put your priorities. You can see my priorities: poetry, music, love, learning, adventure. And then you can put a few things in under each priority to show what you plan to do. So I do one of these every week, as is in the yearbook. Jamie puts a page for every week. But I also just decided recently that I wanted to put one at the back of my book for what I want to do between now and the summer solstice. So these are kind of like some really delicious priorities. Like, I want to go to Winslow Homer's studio in Prouts Neck. That's kind of a bigger priority and very exciting. I want to visit a vintage store for cool poet clothes because I'm a poet. So anyway, that's what's on the back, is if you can just see that focus page. So I'm a fan. I love this yearbook. It's the most fun thing. When I saw Jamie's letter, and I've been reading about Jamie for a long time, you know, reading Jamie's blog and reading her letters and following her and doing some of her workshops, I instantly knew this is a place that I will have a great time. And I was right. I was right. Here is one of the pages. Like, there's the suggested, you know, document your day and, you know, what is your mood? And I love, and it's wonderful. You know, it doesn't take a lot actually to fill in your blanks. And sometimes I write across these things and make, you know, I don't actually use the categories, but sometimes I love to. And I wanted to just show you, you know, recently I had a hard day and I needed some love. I wanted to reassure myself that everything was all right. Here it is. And I didn't really want to write. So I just sort of put in the things that I thought would comfort myself. I loved this owl, and I had this lovely card of serenity, and this, my name is Kate. So I just put these things in to sort of say, Kate, everything's all right. And you know, I just didn't want to write about what was difficult that day, but I felt like I was able to take care of myself and come here to the yearbook. And now I see it was just a lovely way to show gentleness to myself. So this whole thing, I mean, even we have the full moon dream boards, which I totally love. And I'll just show you my most recent one for the full pink moon. I actually added a whole other page. I wanted more space, so I added this page. And I should say, you can see that I printed out my own yearbook, and I put it in this clear cover with these rings, which I got at Staples, whatever. And you have a punch to get this in here. And I'm so glad I did this, because I feel completely free to add things. And I also, because I don't identify as an artist, I should say, I definitely identify as an artist, capital A. I'm a musician and a poet, and that's what I do for my living. But I don't identify as a drawing or painting person, although I love messing around. And at first, when I printed out this pristine copy of the yearbook, I thought, I felt a little trepidation, like, what if I mess this up? What if it looks awful? And then I thought, don't worry, Kate, you can always print another page. And that has given me permission. And the truth is, I've never printed another page. I always like what I do. So you don't, there's just something so nice about having your own copy to play with that I've just been loving, the permission of that and the fun. And, you know, too, I was writing, we have a great Facebook group, and the most wonderful people in the Facebook group. I said recently to a friend, it's like my new favorite place online, because everybody is positive and everybody is creating or sharing from the heart in a real way. It's beautiful. And I shared this page on Facebook, and I was telling everybody, I don't know if you can see, but I had been that day to the Museum of Russian Icons, and I came home in the evening, and it was too late to really do a page the way I thought I wanted to do it. But I cut out materials from the museum, you know, from some of the brochures and the lovely educational materials, and I just pasted them in. And I absolutely love this page because it brings me right back to those icons. And it was, I think, one of the first times that I really got the memo that this is really yours. Do with it what you want. You know, don't be dutiful. Be playful. Maybe that's my new bumper sticker. Don't be dutiful. Be playful. And just a glue stick and some scissors, and, you know, wham, you have a page that helps you remember this really wonderful experience. I've just, you know, I think the other thing I have been loving is that I'm using all my toys. This is another of my favorite pages. So I had learned to make these, you make a fingerprint with watercolor paint, print it on there, and then just draw faces. And it's just so fun to do that. And, you know, even like I started the day, I was in a rotten mood. Funny thing is, and I got out my watercolor paints and I just painted in the boxes. And then I remembered the fingerprints, and I thought, well, let's try that. And then before I knew, and I was standing up to do this whole thing, and I was listening to music, and suddenly I realized I was just overjoyed. I was kind of dancing to the music, and I was painting watercolor, and it was just so much fun. And again, you know, doing all of that at the beginning of the day, it's probably took me 10 minutes. It's not arduous at all, but it is so much fun. And the reward is you have these pages to look back at and say, I remember that day, how I brought up my own mood. Just so much fun. As you can see, I just love this whole experience. And I love drawing too, even as a person who doesn't identify as a 2D artist at all. I've drawn all kinds of things, and sometimes I should say, if I'm overwhelmed, I don't draw. I put in maybe a poem, or I put in just like an image from the day. You know, I want to show you actually one of the drawings. It's maybe a crude, here it is, a crude little drawing, and yet I sort of love it. So see this little dog? Her name is Lucy, and I met her in my neighborhood that day, and I thought, I want to remember Lucy, so I'll try to draw Lucy. And again, it's kind of a childish little drawing, but I love it. I just love it. Captures Lucy for me, even her little kind of mohawk that she has. So it's a little bit of a stretch too. There's room for the stretch, and I really like that. There's room for the stretch. You know, I love that it gives you places to play and to experiment. And like, just if you look at, say, these two different pages, you can see, so there's Lucy and that page. And then this page, I drew a birdie down there, and I stamped, I don't know if you can see the stamping around the edges. And there's just room, there's room for experimentation, and it just makes it so much fun. Here's a really simple, just the April page with a lovely stamped border. And I love the section, What Rocked This Month. It's really fun to remember, what did I do? Because you forget, I forget what I've done. I certainly forget what I've created. I'm a serial creator. I make things all the time. And I love this. I love that there's a space on daily to say, what did you do? What did you create today? Because I can so easily make something and then forget about it and sort of say, I'm not making anything. It's like, no, you're making things every day. And now I have evidence. You know, I wrote a poem every day in April, every single day. And I wrote down the name of the poem. And I love seeing that here. I love the pride I feel. It makes me feel like my life really rocks, to be honest. You know, I'm a music teacher, and so I have students here every day, and just writing things in here. Like one day I wrote, Linda played such and such a piece so well that we screamed for joy, both of us. And it's here now. It's in my book. And when I read back over my book, which I do occasionally, just because I'll even just show you sort of from the side, you know, there's something kind of cool about seeing all of this richness. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much in here. Here's the page for May, which I also study Northern Irish fairy lore. It's, believe it or not, my academic expertise of all things. So anyway, here's a fairy going through the woods. I look at all these images and all the words, and I have such a feeling of richness, and also such a feeling of deciding very clearly for myself what my life is about. And that is really, I think the tools that Jamie has given us here, the focus page, the full moon dream board, she's given us so many opportunities to reflect as lightly or as deeply as we wish, and to choose, to decide, no, these are my focus points this week. And I was telling somebody the other day that the focus page is so powerful. It is such a powerful page. It is so different from a to-do list. I've actually let my to-do list go. Now that seems like walking on the wild side, but I really have. You know, my focus list, rather, the things on my focus page are true heart desires. And I'm seeing them so clearly. It's like, what do I truly wish this week to be about? And this is my precious time on planet Earth. This is May 2018, and it's precious. It's a precious time, and it's a great privilege to be here. And what do I want to be doing? I want to play my flute in the woods. Oh, yes. I want to plan a tea party outside. Yes. And these things I'm doing because of writing them down. So it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful to align yourself with your true self instead of some sense of what you should be doing. It's more, what do I truly wish to be doing? So exciting. You know, the group has been great too, because I learned things that I would never have known about, which, like, somebody had said, for instance, here's another museum page. I went to a museum and learned all about Leonardo da Vinci, which was so exciting. And I wanted to, especially, I taped in a picture of all of Leonardo da Vinci's angels come with colored wings. And I just love that so much. And I forgot too, like, I read Julius Caesar, and here's a quote from the day. He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. Julius Caesar, Act 1, Scene 2. It's just exciting. I forgot I wrote that there. But anyway, what I learned in the group, somebody had said that you can tape things in, and this was one of the cards from the Pre-Raphaelites that I got at the museum. So I was like, where am I going to put that? Well, I'll put it here on this page. And again, I love how adaptable, how expandable and adaptable this is. And this is just to show you, this was the sort of like the spring pages, total energy, love, excitement, woohoo! So much fun. I also loved that Jamie had us do a page of ourselves to start. And let me see if I can find that page for you. Here's me. This is my page, and it was lovely. I just took a little selfie and printed it out on my junky printer, but there it is. And writing, I surrounded myself with all the things that I love, that mean the most to me: music and stories and poetry, and just so much fun. Just so much fun. There's so much fun to be had here. Again, on days that you don't end up doing what, sort of, here's another page of just writing. And I actually put this in here because at one of the music schools I teach at, we had a recital that day, and I loved this image of the mature and the child fox together as a way to mark my recital. So, and as you can see, I wrote all the way across the categories, and then the next day I wrote inside the categories. So you really, and I have squirrels in my house, so this you can do anything you like. So fun. I mean, I'm definitely planning to do the summer yearbook. This is now a part of my creative life. I would miss it too much if I weren't doing it. It's driven me to find new art supplies, to bust out all my art supplies, every marker and crayon and watercolor pencil and piece of washi tape and pictures that I love. And I just feel like it's exciting that there's a place for all of it. There's a place for me, which is exciting. There's a place for all of me in here. My doubts and my joy and my plans and everything that's rolling through me day to day, and that makes up a season. I love that this is a seasonal practice. I love that, we started on the vernal equinox, and we looked ahead and said, what do I want in this season? And I did actually. I loved making, just to show you one more page here. Like this is, so what are your seasonal desires? What are some of the pleasures that what is lovable about spring, and what are the things that you wanted to bring into the season? And I'm bringing them into the season, which is so exciting. They're here. So the intentionality and the lightness, it's that perfect mix to me of being intentional and purposeful and mindful, but also being light and dancey and improvisational, so that every day I'm not really sure. I don't plan what I'm going to do with these pages. I just kind of say, oh, I want to play with my paints today and paint spirals all over the page, and just make it fun and easy. This is, for instance, a page of spirals. And then I just wrote all over it. Just so much fun. Anyway, I love it. I'm so grateful for it. I am really grateful that Jamie followed her dream and got up in the middle of the early morning and created this for us, because it's meant a lot in my life. It has brought great joy and fun and pleasure and expansion into my life. And I'm really grateful, and I can't wait to do the next one and complete this one and keep going through the year and have great seasons.